Good morning. Good morning. It's been such a um stimulating week, if that's a word to use. It's been a busy and it's been a very stimulating week. I can't even call it if it's a mistake, but I stumbled on the video of the I don't even know what to call the display of lack of humanity in the church in Kwara, and I've not been able to get myself. I can only but imagine people with family members or people, within the vicinity that physically experienced it, or even people that were in the church at that moment that experienced that brutality. I couldn't even watch the clip to the end, but the part that just keeps replaying in my head was the point in which the elderly woman was trying to run. You could visibly see this woman was shaking. And as she was trying to move, I could hear screams of children. If you know me well, you know I am very, very, very passionate about children. And the visual representation of an elderly person, obviously looking slightly disabled, trying to run, and a child screaming keeps replaying in my head. I could barely sleep through the course of the night because it was like the scenario just kept playing in my head, in my sleep. And I've cried a lot, I've prayed a lot, and then I come online and then I'm seeing videos of people calling out churches and pastors and asking why is prayer being made? Why is prayer being made? And that's the reason why I'm doing this video. In case you're a Christian out there and in this season your faith is wavering and you are tempted to want to start pointing out to religious leaders and what they should be doing and what they should not be doing in this season, and you are tempted to want to, express your concern about prayers being made in this season, I'd like to tell you a story. It was a story about a prophet named Samuel and how God sent him to anoint a king, a next king. And he went out to anoint David. We all know the story in between and how he wanted to anoint who was, physically looking more pleasant, even wanted to go to another household. But thank God for his sensitivity in the spirit and his obedience to God. He went ahead and anointed David. And just a few years down the line, we all know the story of how David met Goliath and how David, conquered Goliath. I can just imagine if that happened in this time and age, what the conversation will be before David came into picture. When Samuel was obviously, the prophet, even in charge of Saul at that point. So I can imagine him giving advices, going ahead, praying to God, raising, his voice up in prayer. And how people of the city will be like, oh, what are the prophets of this city doing? Why can't they rise up and go and pray to God to conquer Goliath? Or let me put it in lay words, why are they calling for vigils? Why are they calling for more church gatherings? Why are you calling for prayers for Nigeria when you can as well go to the president or go to the governor and go and tell him and teach him and let God teach you how to conquer Goliath? I gave you the scenario just for you to be able to paint a picture in your head of how you are not in the position to decide how things play out. And you are not in the position to tell a prophet how he should go about his duty. As long as the prophet is in his position where God has placed him, as long as he remains in alignment, it is not against his jurisdiction to raise up prayers to God in such a situation like this. I can imagine Samuel on his bended knees and saying, God, Goliath is taunting my people. Raise a man or raise an army. Strengthen the army to, conquer these giants. And then God raised a young boy, David the shepherd boy. Just play it in your head. I said all this to let you know that it is not in your right to tell a prophet what he should or not what he should or should not be doing. You should be praying also in this season that God will stir up the answers from wherever the answers will come from. And if you want to channel your grievances, please be sure to be channeling it in the right direction. So the people in the government, raise your voice, yes, speak up. But let your concerns be directed to the right office. The office of the prophet can be to wrought justice, but justice in the place of prayer. Their job description doesn't cover going to the battlefront. It doesn't. So in this case of insecurity, and it is grossly alarming and very, very concerning, please, let us maintain our faith and encourage our leaders in the right direction. Don't encourage the prophet to go to the battlefront, and don't encourage the people who ought to be in the battlefront to go to the place of, of intercession. Let everyone step into their role and take it on. Please and please, let's all be guided in this season. Let's guard our hearts. Let's guard our eyes. It's difficult to guard our eyes, but let's guard our hearts, please. May we be strengthened, and I don't even know what prayers to pray again, but my heart goes out to everybody in the war front, because this is war. Everybody in the war front and everybody behind the scene, that God will keep you steadfast and He will keep your ears alert. He will keep your ears alert and your heart receptive to hear where He will be leading you in this season, that you will not out of compassion go out of His will, or not out of compassion be disobedient against His instructions to you in this season. I hope God touches the hearts of our leaders and gives them the courage to face this battle in this moment and take on the helmet of, I'm lost for word. I'm honestly lost for word. I just thought I needed to put this out there. I have no more prayers in my heart. I have prayers in my heart, but I have no more words for my prayers, and it has just been turned to groanings that words can't utter. And I know that God is mighty to save, and it will all turn out to the glory of His name. I can't even say light and love, but light and love.